Hi, I'm Wilson America Shad is in here with another episode of Dark Theory USA. I'm with you guys to talk about the elephant in the room, or it's better to say elephant in the Oval Office in the White House. Well, as you know that it was like booming, like it was a breaking news all over the world, all the political leaders, especially those who are member of NATO, they were talking about that. What happens, the clash between Trump and Zelensky over there. Well, I mean, to be precise, it was more, it started with JD Vance. Some people, they say that like the feud was by Marco Rubio was fueling. But anyway, anywho, uh, it started between Zelensky and JD Vance, and after that, we saw what happened. Trump came in here. He came inside came into the conversation and started to talk, and then gave his opinion. And Zelensky didn't stop, and he kept going. He kept pushing, and of course, it resulted with a little, not a little, more than a little heated conversation between them. I'm gonna give just my opinion, and then we're gonna play the video and then react to it. Well, the thing is, first of all, that was like around the 50 minutes. All the clash heated debate is a conversation started in last 10 minutes, right? If you just see what happened between them, like if you just saw like how Trump was talking to Zelensky and they were talking to him, you would feel bad for the Zelensky. You would say why his country is under attack and all he needs is the support. And the way that Trump is talking is like, you don't have any other option, our way or highway or stuff. You would feel like he was acting like he was pushing and put him into the corner, and then Zelensky was left out and he was feeling bad. But if you see the whole conversation, this is but first what I saw. But when I saw that all the 50 minutes video, what happened was from the beginning, Trump tried to be very nice, very professional. And on the other hand, Zelensky was acting very frustrated, very tired. He didn't like to be there. And he disrespected on a couple of occasions. I will tell you which occasion so you can go see it yourself. Um, and then eventually in the end he crossed already so many lines, but in the last part he said something like he started to debate with JD Vance, and JD Vance is if you have disagreement we could do it behind the door, but you try to bring the America's TV into the game, because like, they wanted to do it in front of the news when they are asking, because if, as long as it is behind the doors, it's just going to be between them. But somehow I think Zelensky wanted to bring it up so American people could see that, and then actually it backfired. It didn't go the way that he wanted, and now people are even more pissed than ever. I will tell you what happened. So European, basically for 3 years they say we are not going to have any conversation, we are not going to have any discussion, we're just going to help and fund the Ukraine so to attack, to defend against the Russia, and basically the only possible solution that they were coming up with was like Russia should retreat and go back to the previous borders. We know that it wouldn't happen. And then, so they had no room for conversation. Like when Biden was the president for 3 years, since the war happened, for 3 years, even he didn't try to at least somehow try to have a conversation with Russia. Nothing. And at least you could keep the room open, the window, so you could see what could happen. But Biden did nothing to stop the war or to have conversation with Russia, and at least have a conversation, see what they are saying. In the end, you say no, they reject that. It wasn't the case, and Europe, of course, was following America, and the reason was because mostly America was paying for the Ukraine defense and weaponry, and also artillery, and even funding money-wise. Um, and Europe, NATO members were not keeping up. And what happened was, uh, so that's why like they had to just follow the boss, follow the person who is paying, which was America in Biden's administration. But when Trump came and said, well, you're gonna pay up, I'm out, I'm not gonna guarantee anything, I'm gonna bring the peace, I'm gonna take some of the Ukraine's minerals, and then I'm out. In that situation, what happened was uh, Europeans say, and then America says, well, I'm going to go talk with Russia without Ukraine and European members, NATO. And then European immediately they say, what do you mean? That's a Europe war. We have to be there. We have to be in conversation. You cannot leave us and then go talk with Russia, just you two by yourself. We have to be there. And then Jeffrey Sachs, I guess, said very rightfully, said for 3 years that you were nowhere to be found, and you had no interest in talking with Russia, and all of a sudden that Trump gonna talk there, and now all of you are in lining to be part of the conversation. No, if you had 3 years to talk, you didn't. It means it's not your policy. So if you come to the table, you're gonna ruin everything. So it's better it's gonna be only Russia and us. That meeting happened, was held in Saudi Arabia. Which makes sense. If you really had any intention to stop the war or to talk with Russia, you should have done that before, but didn't. And basically, you remember when Trump said Zelensky is a dictator. I think at that time that Trump wanted to have the mineral, get $500 billion worth of mineral, rare mineral, something like lithium, cobalt, because as he said in this in the Oval Office today. He said we have so many gas and oil, we don't need their gas and oil, but those cobalt and lithium would be like 60% of the lithium that we use for our batteries, for the car, for electronic devices such as cell phone. It's coming from Congo, and Ukraine has a lot of them. And so United States says, okay, we can have partnership, and actually it would be good for the security of Ukraine, because then American troops and American workers gonna be there, and Russia wouldn't attack, because even let's say he didn't care about the Ukrainian and Ukraine, the country in the general, they know that if they attack, American people gonna get killed, so they would be in the trouble. So basically, putting American workers into Ukraine land, put their boots on their underground, I think put their feet over there, gonna be a very good guarantor of security for the Ukrainian, because Russia wouldn't mess with them, because now Americans are there, not the NATO military basically, but at least extractor. But I think in the beginning Ukraine didn't want that, but eventually, as far as I did my research and study, Mark Rubio, I think, convinced Zelensky that's a good idea, and then signed the deal, and eventually he accepted. So you saw that the tone of the President Trump was changed. He was very nice. Today he was very happy, and then actually I think somebody asked like what changed. He said, well, he accepted the deal, so we made a deal. I think prior to that, Zelensky didn't want that. Anyway, I said that to say the time that they were going with the United States with Russia was going to talk with each other in the Saudi Arabia. Ukraine went and had a meeting at the same time with the European unions, or whatever you're going to call it, NATO. And at that time, I believe I heard that from, I saw that from somebody else as well. So I realized that that's not only me. It's not only my instinct is saying. I think European leaders, they said to Zelensky, when you go there in front of camera, you start to act crazy. You try to change everything that you promise, say everything that we are telling you to say that time. So basically, you're gonna catch Trump off guard. So he cannot he cannot go crazy in front of camera. So you basically pass the ball into America's field, and make them to do what you want to. But I mean, it was good idea, except it wasn't. And the reason it wasn't, because Trump is in office, not Biden. So those stupid ideas, those childish tactics wouldn't work on Trump. So Trump was like, you want it, you want piece of me, you got it. And then that wasn't a good idea. So I think they were saying now, European unions, they were saying to Zelensky, it's my opinion, that now or never. Either right now you go there and then you change the condition. You say, well, we don't want to stop the war. Like the whole point was, we come sign a deal. You stop the war with Russia, so you can come and then get the money that you invested on us back through those minerals, $500 billion worth of rare minerals, and in return of having peace. The exchange was the peace. And now it said, not only we don't want the peace, our people don't want the peace, which is obviously BS. If you see the videos on the X, you could see like army goes into the street whenever they see like young age boys, teenagers, they see that they grab them, and as if they have caught a criminal, and they put it on the van and then go take them to the field, front row field. They are lacking people. They don't have enough people, and because the rate of their casualty is so high, so they don't have enough people, that they have to basically hunt teenagers in Kiev, in Ukraine, in that situation, right? So I mean, as President Trump said rightfully, they don't have so many cards to play with. And but Zelensky changed it. Said, no, everyone wants to continue the war. Nobody wants to stop the war. I don't want to stop the war. My people are happy with that. The only way that you're gonna get what you want, which is the peace, is if we have the guarantee like it won't happen. And Trump said, well, how can I guarantee it's true? Like for example, you go to the jail and they give you put like like documents of your house. You give something collateral. You put a collateral so you come out. So it is like, hey, this is my promise that I won't leave. But basically, after that, you can leave and say, well, what is the guarantee that they will show up again into the court? That's why we are getting the collateral. We are getting the collateral to make sure it doesn't happen. But it's still, there's no guarantee. Like, we are not God. Like, how can, like, think about that. How can Trump make sure, like, Putin doesn't do that anymore? Let's say even they make a deal and Putin said, yeah, okay, that's fine. And then by the time that Trump is out of the office, because he cannot have second term, right? Because it is his second term. After that, the next president comes and Putin invade again. The same thing happened. Under Bush, they attack. Russia attack. Georgia, I guess, somewhere. And then under Obama administration, under his administration, Putin attacked too. Under Trump, he didn't. Under who is the Biden? Under Biden, the Crimea. Again, Russia attack. So other than Trump, they attack on every other administration. So it's stupid, it's unrealistic. How can you guarantee something doesn't? Yeah, you can put some pressure, some sanctions, some this or that, but other than that, like, what else can you do? And also, no, we are not going to have peace until 100% we are sure it's not going to happen. But then you cannot have peace with any country. You cannot make a deal with any country, because at any moment they can flip the table. They can say, we are not in the game anymore. There's nothing we can do about that to make sure like this 100%. It's unrealistic. And Trump said, like, yeah, because I really believe that it will happen. That's why, like, I came to the deal, because I thought it would be like, it's safe to say like it's going to be permanent. If I didn't know that, I wouldn't try that. So the thing is, like, everything apparently what he promised to Trump, because Trump was mad at him that he didn't listen to him. That's why he called him dictator. And then now that he's coming back, so now they are friends together. And Trump was very nice, to be honest. If that was 1 hour, the first 50 minutes, he was very nice. But Trump kept seeing the disrespectful manner from the Zelensky, but still he didn't react until the last moment, when that was a heated conversation between J.D. Vance and Zelensky. The thing is, couple of times Trump said something and Zelensky said, you're wrong. Listen, you never do that, especially when you are guest in the Oval Office. You know what I'm saying? When you are in Oval Office, when you are basically in the White House, you never talk like that. You never talk like that. I mean, if you have disagreement, do it behind the door. But he was saying, like, for example, he said, Europe hasn't helped Ukraine, hasn't helped you as much as we did. And then, you know what Zelensky did? No, actually, they did. And Trump tried to make it like a funny and joke, like, okay, that's fine. But it was very disrespectful. Couple of times Trump really tried to, like, move on, pass on, but and a couple of but Zelensky didn't actually. He just was fueling to that heated conversation, and couple of times, like, that's in America. Trump says who asks question, who doesn't. But then Zelensky came and he acted like he's left out, like he was feeling like he was left out. Like, why aren't you asking question from me? Hey, what are you saying? What is your question? Like, he was moderating basically over there. And a couple of times he said, can I answer that as well? For example, like, the reporter was asking question from Trump, and then Zelensky was offended. Why didn't you ask that question for me? That's their decision, who they want to ask from, right? It's not like a stage. It's not like prop up. And then it wasn't propped up, but yeah, a couple of times he stopped the conversation, like, as if, like, stopped to Trump and say, hey, I want to talk about that. And then he came up with his propaganda, and basically every time that he started to interrupt others and to bring up his own words, he was just saying, Trump, you are wrong, you are a liar, this is not how you talk, especially for you that you don't have so many cards to play with, and you really need America's support, because without America's support, and even he admitted, like, without your help, Europe wouldn't be enough. So if you know that, when you acknowledge that, then you should have put some respect over there. You don't treat Trump very badly. I think that is how European wanted him to do that. Like, Europeans were telling Zelensky, when you go there in front of camera, try to disrespect him, try to destroy him, and they thought eventually Trump gonna fall. But bruh, bruh, that's Trump. You really think you can basically win in the battle? Like, you're gonna defeat Trump in his own home? Even Trump, like, come on, man. He was really disgraceful. So if you right now, we're gonna just react to the last 10 minutes. But if you only watch these 10 minutes, it might sound like, oh, but they were very like, Zelensky wasn't saying anything. But in whole 50 minutes, he was just trying to say, well, first of all, I'm out of every deal that I had with you guys. So, like, he was saying something new. That's why Trump got crazy. He changed his word, he changes his promises, he broke his promises, and he brought up something new, and then he claimed something which is false. We all know that Ukrainians, he has 4% approval rating, that low. And uh, then he was saying, like, oh, I'm not gonna have peace unless I get what I want. Bro, you don't have so much things to negotiate with. I understand it is sad that your country is under attack and you have to listen to your big brother, those people who are supporting you, but this is the reality. Like, what are you gonna do? Like, this is what you have to do. That, and then like, Trump said perfectly. And also, I have so much more respect for JD Vance. How he reacted was very professional. Good cop, bad cop, like mad cop, like calm cop. But they destroyed him. And on the social media, I saw that they had solidarity, like they had, we stand with Ukraine, thank you. All of them, they had a good word, like positive word, like we support you, European leaders. And actually, that's a good thing, because they were showing their true color. And now Trump say, oh, okay, so now you stand with Ukraine. Okay, you're gonna send your troops over there. You're gonna put 5% of your GDP for the NATO. I'm not gonna put that anymore, because also this is one of the conditions for the Trump. He said, you're gonna guarantee the peace, not me. That's true. And let's see the conversation just right now. If you see Trump's face right now, it is the end of the conversation. He's mad because the way that Zelensky was talking was very disrespectful in entire time. In the beginning, if you watch the whole entire conversation, Trump was really happy, was really excited. He wanted to bring peace, and this wasn't his face in the beginning. Zelensky, with interrupting and indirectly called Trump liar and tried to disagree with him and change his condition, brought that frowny face to Trump. So now let's go and see what he said.
Well, if I didn't align myself with both of them, you'd never have a deal. You want me to say really terrible things about Putin and then say, hi, Vladimir, how are we doing on the deal? It doesn't work that way. I'm not aligned with Putin. I'm not aligned with anybody. I'm aligned with the United States of America. And for the good of...
Oh. What happened?
The world. I'm aligned with the world. And I want to get this thing over with. You see the hatred he's got for Putin. It's very tough for me to make a deal with that kind of hate. He's got tremendous...
I don't know what happened really in here. Was not working, but we have difficulty issue right now. One second. Let me fix it.
This hatred. And I understand that, but I can tell you the other side isn't exactly in love with, you know, him either. So it's not a question of alignment. I'm aligned with the world. I want to get the thing set. I'm aligned with Europe. I want to see if we can get this thing done. You want me?
One second. So yeah, okay. And then the thing is,
It'd be tough. I could be tougher than any human being you've ever seen. I'd be so tough. But you're never going to get a deal that way, so that's the way it goes. All right, one more question.
I would respond to this. So look, for 4 years in the United States of America, we had a president who stood up at press conferences and talked tough about Vladimir Putin, and then Putin invaded Ukraine and destroyed a significant chunk of the country. The path to peace and the path to prosperity is maybe engaging in diplomacy. We tried the pathway of Joe Biden of thumping our chest and pretending that the president of the United States' words mattered more than the president of the United States' actions. What makes America a good country is America engaging in diplomacy. That's what President Trump is doing.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he occupied our parts, big parts of Ukraine, parts of East and Crimea. So he occupied it on 2014. So during a lot of years, so I'm not speaking about just...
So first of all, that is very rude that now you want to challenge the vice president right now.
Biden, but those time was Obama, then President Obama, then President Trump, then President Biden, now President Trump, and God bless, now President Trump will stop him. But during 2014, nobody stopped him. He just occupied and took. He killed people. You know what the contact...
2015.
2014.
2014 and
2014.
Yeah, yeah. So
I was not here.
Yeah, but,
That's exactly right.
Yes, but during 2014 till 2022, you know, the situation the same. The people have been dying on the contact line. Nobody stopped him. You know that we had conversations with him, a lot of conversations, my bilateral conversation, and we signed with him, me, like a new president in 2019. I signed with him the deal. I signed with him, Macron and Merkel. We signed ceasefire. Ceasefire. All of them told me that he will never go. We signed with him with gas contract. Gas contract. Yes, but after that, he broken the ceasefire. He killed our people, and he didn't exchange prisoners. We signed the exchange of prisoners, but he didn't do it. What kind of diplomacy, JD, you are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but
When he says, first of all, look at his body language, how disrespectful he is. This is not how you talk, like as if like we owe him something. Look at him. Look how he's talking. This is disrespectful. And then when he said, what are you talking? This is not the language. I understand English is not his first language, but at least you could see Moody from India. The funny thing about the Moody is somebody was asking English, but one translator had to translate English to English. But anyway, I understand like English is not his first language, but at least you should know, you should have known. When you are talking, you should say, what are you talking about? It's not a street, man. What are you talking about? What do you mean?
You are speaking about? What do you mean?
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if
Mr. President, with respect...
Like, look how it's done.
I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems.
This is what I said. Like, I have seen with my eyes, you can see it on X, like they are really dragging people to the front line for the fight. They don't have enough people.
You should be thanking the
Their casualties 2,000 per day or week.
president for trying to bring it into this
Have you
conflict.
ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have
Zelensky looks like you ordered Che Guevara from Timo. He looks like a to-be version of Che Guevara. Oh my God.
been to
Come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have
And do you think that it's
I will
respectful
answer.
to come to the Oval Office
I
of the
will
United
answer.
States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your
A
country?
lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems. Even you, but you
Yeah, but your problem shouldn't be my problem, idiot.
have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future.
So he says, like, because Trump has been saying, well, you Europeans should step up because Russia is next to you. Between us and Russia is a one ocean distance. We are one ocean apart. And he's saying, right now you don't feel it, but soon you will. Like, right now you don't feel like you are that close to that. But if you don't stop Russia there in the Ukraine, eventually they're gonna move forward so much that you're gonna feel it.
Has problems. Even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know
bless.
that.
You will
Don't-
not
you
have
gotta-
war.
don't-
And Trump, that moment, even if that was anybody, would get offended. You are lecturing us right now. We are helping you. You don't have enough people to fight it, and without our help, they said in the best case scenario, Ukraine could just only stay for 6 months, which is true. All of the defense system, military, weaponry, jets, everything they have is from us. They don't have anything from themselves, and now they are saying like basically we have to be grateful. Thank you for defending us, defending United States from Russia in Ukraine. Bro, come on, let them come a little closer.
Don't tell us what we're going to feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're going to feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering
position to
honest
dictate that.
That's exactly
Remember
what
this.
you're
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
You
We're
will-
going to feel
you
very
will
good.
feel influenced.
We're going to feel very
I'm
good and
telling
very
you,
strong.
You will feel influenced.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself to be in a
from
very
the
bad position,
beginning
and
of
he
the
happens
war.
to be right about
From the
it.
very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a good
Brown,
position.
I
You
was
don't have the cards right now. With us, you start having
not playing
cards.
cards.
Right now, you don't
What I
have
see
you're playing
this,
cards.
Mr. President,
You're
I-
playing.
He said you don't have many cards. Cards is like a symbol of saying you don't have many options, right? You don't have many leverages. Card means leverages. This idiot, his English is so bad that he thinks by playing card, he's talking with the real playing card, like a casino card. He doesn't know that by playing card means you don't have so many leverages. He said, I'm doing serious. Like, oh, come on. Like, it's not a childish conversation. Like, bro, instead of all those time that with your wife you went to the Paris, I guess, like they were detected in the Europe, like touring. All those time you should have got one English professor or teacher. I mean, my English is not that good, right? But I don't try to correct somebody whose native language is English. Like, I would ask the question, so, oh, I'm doing serious.
Very serious.
You're
I'm
gambling
the
with the
president
lives
in
of
war.
millions of people.
You think
I'm president of the world. Yeah.
Gambling
No,
with-
you are a comedian and a clown one.
World War III.
what are you
You're
thinking
gambling
about?
with
What are you
World
thinking
War
about?
III.
That's true. You're gambling World War III. Do you remember when in the end of the presidency of Biden, Putin brought his one of his atomic nuclear submarines close to the offshore, like close to the Miami beach.
And what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
It is.
That's
With
back
all
to you.
respect to you.
Far more than a lot of people said
With
they
respect.
should
Have
have.
you said thank you once? This
A lot
entire
of
meeting?
times.
No, in this
Even
entire meeting,
today.
have you said thank
Even
you?
today.
You went to Pennsylvania and campaigned for the
So many people said like he never said thank you. He said, yeah, I've said so many thank you. No, actually he means like today, because I watched when you see all the 50 minutes, it's not like thank you for helping me. It's about you better do it or else. That was his tone. He wasn't very grateful today. And then he said you were camping for me against me. That's true. Let's say I'm running for something, right? Some people they go team up with my opponent. If I get elected, I'm gonna look at them all as one team, right? Now he expects us to respect him the way that before. Like once he came to Trump, like as if we're gonna be friends, right? But at the same time, he went to campaign for the Biden.
The opposition in October offer some words of appreciation for the United States of America and the president who's trying to save your country.
Please, you think that if you will speak very loudly about the war, you
He's
can...
not speaking loudly. He's not speaking loudly. Your country is in big trouble.
can I
Wait a
ask
minute.
you-
No,
He's
no,
so
not a lot of talking.
disrespectful.
Your country is in big trouble.
I know.
You're not
I
winning.
know.
You're not winning this. You have a damn good chance of coming out okay because of
Mr.
us.
President, we are staying in our country, staying strong from the very beginning of the war. We've been alone, and we are saying
He said, we have been alone. Bro, without Europe and especially United States help, you couldn't last more than 1 week.
I said thanks
You haven't
in
been
this
allowed.
cabinet.
You haven't
not
been
only in
allowed.
this
He
cabinet.
gave you, through
I
this
said
stupid
thank-
president, $350 billion.
You
We
voted
gave
for
you
your
military
president.
equipment,
You
and you
voted
men
for
are
your
brave, but
And now instead of saying thank you, you said, well, you voted for that. The president did. Like, it's like, so what? Like the previous administration. Okay, previous administration did. There's a new sheriff in the town, clown. Now there's none of those monies. There's none of those support. So he's acting like that was the previous one. So what? Like, bro,
and use our military.
What about West
If you didn't have
We
our
invited
military
you.
the
equipment,
foreign affair of Putin for Russia said, I don't know how J.D. Vance and Trump could control themselves and not punch him in the face. I agree with that lady.
You invited
if
me
you
to
didn't
speak.
have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3
okay?
days, I heard it from Putin.
Now you see, even he's saying like you are a talking point of the Putin. He said without our help, if we didn't help you, you would fold and then eventually accept the peace deal in 1 week. And he said, oh, in 3 days. Like basically he said like, I don't know, you say mouthpiece or like, talking point, propaganda or something. He said like you are saying stuff, the propaganda that those stuff that Putin was saying, like 3 days. Or trust me, without United States help, in the best case scenario, they would last 6 days. If you remember, they came almost there into the Kiev. They were almost there. Like they were just 48 hours maybe far from taking over the Kiev. United States help kept them back.
In 3 days. This is something
Maybe
new.
less.
In 2 weeks. Of course he has.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this. I tell you.
Just say thank you.
I said a lot of
except
times
that there,
thank you
except
to
that-
American people.
except that there are disagreements.
And now I have said so many times thank you to American people. But you are in here. We voted for Trump, so say thank you to Trump. This is how it works. Like it means, like even though I'm gonna get something from you, I need your signature, but still I'm gonna say, oh, you are nobody. Like he says, I said to like when you are beefing with somebody, even though you have to give credit, you try to give the credit to his or her cousin or his friends, so not get directly to that person. What a piece of garbage.
And let's go litigate those disagreements rather than trying to fight it out in the American media.
Exactly. Like he pointed out very well. Like I'm pretty sure that was already planned from. They are accusing Trump and J.D. Vance had this plan, but no, actually they were very peaceful and they were very positive. He kept bringing chaos, made it chaotic and very nasty and toxic, the conversation. And he said that very well, J.D. Vance, you wanted to do that in front of the media. So basically, American people's intention would change. Oh my God, yeah, it feels so bad. We don't want that. He didn't expect that. Because right now, look, I know politics, right? So the cards that he had, those people that they told him, yeah, go and talk like that in the press conference, before press conference over there, like in here, it was part of his plan, right? But right now, all of them, they had solidarity. They started to tweet to have the, support Zelensky after this clash, right? But the thing is, you already have them. It's not about how many people you had, it's about how many more people bring. Because now it's like, we don't want 1 penny to be spent on Ukraine. And those people who want to fight for Ukraine, they have the Ukrainian flag, either they are from Europe or in United States. They are not in the power, right? We who are America first, or if better to say America only, we are saying we don't want fight, right? So in that case, you already had your people, you already had your cards. You have to bring new cards. That doesn't work anymore because Biden is not in the office. this conversation, instead of making us feel bad for you and say, yeah, maybe Trump, you should help them, give them second chance, maybe consider, we are actually more mad at you. So I don't know actually who you wanted to impress, but whatever your intention was, you failed.
You're wrong. We know that you're wrong.
But you see, I think it's good for the American people to see what's going on.
Exactly.
I think it's very important. That's why I kept this going so long.
He said that I kept it going so on because to see like what a ungrateful piece of garbage he is.
Thankful. You don't have the cards.
thankful.
You're buried there. Your people are dying.
tell you
You're
again,
running
I
low
know.
on soldiers.
Don't-
Listen,
don't,
you're
please,
running
Mr.
low on
President.
soldiers. It would be a damn good thing.
Mr.
And
President.
then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. Look, if you could get a ceasefire right now, I tell you, you take it so the bullets stop flying and your men stop.
It's completely true. If you really want peace deal, so ceasefire and peace deal, get it right now before more people getting killed. And actually, in the conversation in the beginning, I watched a full video. He said that very correctly. He said, right now, as we are speaking, as we are sitting here and talking, some people are dying over there. So sooner we get that, sooner we prevent more people from dying. Like, if you really go talk with Ukrainian, they are not gonna support what he's saying. I'm saying approval rating is 4. Like, the parents, mothers, sisters, wives, they are seeing their husband, their father, their brother, they're getting dragged to the van to go to the war and then come back inside the plastic, inside the bag, dead. So what he's saying, the way that he's picturing Ukraine is not true.
Stuff getting
Of
killed.
All
course,
I'm
I
saying.
want to stop the war.
But you're saying you don't want a
but
ceasefire.
I said to you,
I want a
with
ceasefire
guarantees.
because you get a ceasefire faster than an agreement.
Ask our people about ceasefire, what they think.
You see, like he said, because my people don't want ceasefire, so we're not gonna have ceasefire. Listen, even if you don't, your people don't like it, this is what it is. We don't want to pay any more penny, and you think you can tolerate it. And it's saying if you don't pay for me, then what happens is Russia gonna keep moving forward. Let's say Russia take over whole Europe. Let's say for one after that it should come to us. So by that time it's over. It's already Russia is super weak, so we can take care of them, which is nonsense. There is no way that Putin is thinking, oh, up to the eastern side of the Germany to bring back the motherland, take all the, like, break the new Soviet Union 2.0. I'm not gonna stop until I take all of it. It's just BS. It's not gonna happen. That's for one. And for two, I think the reason that he thinks we owe him something because he saw that how much corruption was that. So with the name of the war funding Ukraine, so many of these democratic, liberal Democrats, these are politicians, they got rich. There are so many rich. For example, even himself admitted. He said, like, they sent us $170 billion or something. I just received 100 billion of that. Because on the way, those corrupt people, politicians from both sides, Ukraine and United States, they were stealing the money. So our money didn't even go to the troops, to the Ukrainian people. So many people got it. I know even one person, I guess I saw it online, he was saying he was Ukrainian, and then he went to the barber or something to cut his hair, and then soldiers came, dragged him, took him, and then he bribed some of those military people over there to let him go. And then he left the Ukraine. So he was supposed to go to the front line for the war. And he paid them to not let him. It's just BS. And the funniest thing is those Ukrainian even that they are saying, "Oh, Ukraine, go fight, go fight." Instead of sitting back in United States, those Ukrainians say, "You have to go. We have to help Ukraine." Okay, go fight. All these people that they say we have to help, I mean, they want money, bro.
For you, what
That wasn't with me.
It
That was with
wasn't
a guy named Biden who was not a smart person.
This
That
is
was
your-
with,
this
that was
is
with
your
Obama.
president. It was your president.
Excuse me. That was with Obama, who gave you sheets, and I gave you javelins.
Yes.
I gave you the javelins to take out all those tanks. Obama gave you sheets. In fact, the statement is Obama gave sheets and Trump gave javelins. You got to be more thankful, because let me tell you, you don't have the cards. With us, you have the cards, but without us, you don't have any cards.
One more question to Mr. Vice President. I'm sorry.
It's going to be a tough deal to make, because the attitudes have to change.
What if Russia breaks ceasefire? What if Russia breaks peace talks? What do you do then? I understand that it's a heated conversation right now.
What are you
but
saying?
She's asking, what if Russia breaks the ceasefire?
But what if anything? What if a bomb drops on your head right now?
Exactly. What if the bombs drop on your head? So what if they break it? So what? Like every deal that we have with other countries is not 100% guaranteed. We are not a god. Like you somehow like curse them. Somehow if they break that, they're gonna be cursed. It's not like a mummy inside the pyramid in Egypt. Like, oh, if you touch it, you're gonna be cursed. I mean, so what? Like, this is how it works. You make a deal, somebody eventually gonna break the deal if they want. Like, what else can you do? Especially when it comes to the Russia. Like, if it is with a like weaker country, smaller country, so you have more leverage to make sure they don't do that, and then still you cannot guarantee that. Like, for example, Iran. Iran is nowhere close to the Russia. But still, we don't have so many leverages on them other than sanctioning and banning any countries to buy oil from them. That's it. Other than that, what can you do? You cannot say, like, you cannot have nuclear bomb, but they're going to have it. So what? Do something about that. You have to go to the war or you have to put more sanction. That's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it says, what if they, like, what if? Yes, there is always what if. If that's the case, as he said, like, what if a bomb drops into your head? Exactly. What if you have an accident, car crash, and then you die when you are going to the work? So you're gonna stay home all your life? What if when you are eating something, stick to your throat, and then you suffocate? So you're gonna stop eating? Come on, everything. What if? Especially when it comes to the one giant power like Russia. Like, what if? Yeah, what if? What if you tomorrow don't wake up when you go to sleep? I mean, there is what if. Yeah, you're gonna have couple of leverages, couple of guarantors, couple of conditions to make sure it doesn't happen. But in the end of the day, it is those sides, those parties' decision that if they're gonna stay with the contract or not. And exactly this is what, like, Putin for 20 years was asking to be part of the NATO. If instead of accepting Ukraine to be part of the NATO, if we accepted Russia to be part of the NATO, the war would be over. Because if Russia is part of the NATO, Russia has to save Finland or Sweden or Germany or England or Ireland or France, Lithuania. Like then basically instead of fighting each other, they had to fighting each other instead of fight alongside with each other against one enemy. But in that case, I think that was in Clinton's time. They rejected that offer because they said, well, if they join the NATO, then we are not going to have any villain. Then how can we keep the war going on? You need one villain to sell weapon. You need a villain to have your stock goes up when it's fighting for your defense contractor. You know, this is how politicians, like right now, America is making money by selling weapons. I don't have any problem with selling weapons. But if your only business is, oh, I can make more money if there is a war, then your intention is to never solve the war, but keep going. So you keep using taxpayers' money to make this defense contractor richer. And that is over. We voted for Trump because we don't want any of that anymore, right? So yeah, there are only so many things you can do. And they are saying, like, no, we are not going to do that unless we are 100% sure for the next 100. Like, what do you expect? Like, you expect, like, to say, you're talking with the Putin. You're going to give me all of your nuclear bomb if you want a peace deal. Leave all the territory that you have occupied. I mean, it's not going to happen. Okay. So you're going to keep going to the war. And really, I'm telling you, Ukraine is out of human resources, is out of soldiers.
Okay, what if they broke it? I don't know. They broke it with Biden because Biden, they didn't respect him. They didn't respect Obama. They respect me. Let me tell you, Putin went through a hell of a lot with me. He went through a phony witch hunt where they used him and Russia. Russia. You ever hear of that deal? That was a phony Hunter Biden, Joe Biden scam. Hillary Clinton, Shifty Adam Schiff. It was a Democrat scam.
Adam Schiff.
And he had to go through
Shifty
that.
Adam
He did go
Schiff.
through it. We didn't end up in a war.
Shifty Adam
And he
Schiff.
went through it. He was accused of all that stuff. He had nothing to do with it. It came out of Hunter Biden's bathroom. It came out of Hunter Biden's bedroom. It was disgusting. And then they said, oh, the laptop from hell was made by Russia. The 51 agents. The whole thing was a scam. And he had to put up with that. He was being accused of all that stuff. All I can say is this. He might have broken deals with Obama and Bush, and he might have broken them with Biden. He did, maybe. Maybe he didn't. I don't know what happened. But he didn't break them with me. He wants to make a deal. I don't know if he can make a deal. The problem is, I've empowered you to be a tough guy. And I don't think you'd be a tough guy without the United States. And your people are very brave. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty.
It
You'll fight
won't be.
out.
It would be
But you
World
don't
War
have the
III.
cards. But once we sign that deal, you're in a much better position. But you're not acting at all thankful. And that's not a nice thing. I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
well,
That's not.
listen, if you just see this last part, as I mentioned, you would feel like Trump was aggressive, but really, Trump was very nice entire the meeting, and Zelensky kept poking him. I don't know if they really their plan was this happened, poke the bear, wake him, poke the eagle, basically. Bear is for the Putin for Russia. I don't know exactly what was their main goal, but it was a stupid whatever it was.
Not a nice thing. All right, I think we've seen enough. What do you think? Huh? This is going to be great television, I will say that. All right, we'll see what we can do about putting it together. Thanks. We'll see. I don't know.
So after that, this is how it works. They go in here and talk a little in front of fireplace, and people ask questions, and then they leave, go for the lunch, and after lunch they're gonna have conversation behind the closed doors, and then they're gonna have a press conference. This is how it works, the formalities. And after press conference, so I guess they go back to their country. This is how it happened with the Netanyahu, with the what was his name for the England yesterday happened, or with the Macron for the French. This is how it was, the routine, right? What happened was after that conversation, he went back. Zelensky went back. So no lunch, no conversation behind the doors, and then no press conference. So we don't know exactly if Trump kicked him out or now he said, look, well, he got mad and then he left. I don't know exactly which one, but doesn't matter. The point is like the peace deal is gone. And the funny thing is, Putin said, well, if you are looking for the minerals, we have more than that. So we would welcome American company, not only the government or even the private company to come and take the minerals from us. And that would be very bad for Europeans because Europeans ended all of their ties with Russia, and now but they're dependent on energy, right? So they have to buy it either from us or Middle Eastern. They don't want to go to the Middle East because now Middle East gonna revenge everything that European have done to the Middle Eastern. So now they have to come to us, the ally. And then in that case, it's gonna be we're gonna raise the price, and because they cannot go back to the Russia. And in one other hand, now we have the Europe in one of our hand, and in the other hand we have the Russia. It would be the worst case scenario for the Ukrainian. And I think this is when you deal with the Democrats, with the liberals, because I think that one of the reasons that he's not very grateful is obvious because obviously he saw the corruption over there, so he thought that they want money, they want corruption, so they need this war going on. But now the way that Trump is behaving is like, no, no war, no corruption. And then he feels like left out. He said, wait. This is, well, I mean, there's a new sheriff in the town. So what else do you expect? And he already explained, like, this is how I'm going to do it. And then he said in 24 hours, when I get to the office, I'm going to get it done. And he was very close for that. But this is the second time that Putin is staying on his word, like for the peace. But Ukraine, though, like they have changed their mind so many times. They're very ungrateful, very ungrateful. Instead of saying thank you, not only thank you, like listening to us, what they are doing is just basically making themselves look like, put themselves in the worst position. And Trump said, okay, he put it on his through social and then other social media, like he's gonna go, and then whenever he's ready for the peace, he's gonna come back. He cannot use my support as a leverage to get something more. My plan is to, but because he's saying like I need something more, and Trump saying, listen, I have to make both sides happy, right? So because they were asking him like, are you aligning with Russia? He said, I have to align with both of them. I cannot keep trash talking against Putin and then talk him and say, hey, what's up? Let's have a deal. So I have to play in the middle. So both sides should be happy at point. So you cannot get everything you want because it's not what the other party wants. So it should come to the common ground. And this is what he has been trying. And he said today, like, I'm a businessman. I know that how to make a deal. And apparently, Russia really wants to make a deal, but not Zelensky. And I think for the Zelensky is because they are basically encouraging him to not accept the deal. And I think eventually it's going to fall. Just like 2 weeks ago, he didn't want to sign the mineral thing, but then he realized that, oh, he doesn't have any card to play with, so he accepted. That's why he came to the United States, and now he's showing like. I hope it doesn't get worse, because Trump said that, and I agree with him. If we don't solve it right now, it's going to be long war, and I guess the window is narrowing down. So we have to do it something quickly. We cannot afford paying them so much, and they cannot afford dying more anymore. And I think that's the best thing we can come up with. And it's very sad, so many people died just because a couple of corrupted politicians from either sides, they got richer, they wanted to get richer and richer. And it is a sad reality that we are living at. But yeah, I will keep you updated if anything happens related to it. It was worthy of talking about that. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Like always, as above, so below.